Hey Team Dare to Dream, this is Deb, and I am happy to say hello to you today and send this message from my deck, my balcony in the SS Beachbody, the Oasis of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. And I just wanted to send this message because I want you to know that when I started out as a Beachbody coach 4.5 years ago, my very first trip was to Atlantis, Bahamas. And I was an Emerald coach. And I earned that trip by making Success Club. Somehow in 6 months, I was able to earn enough Success Club points to earn that trip. And not only did I earn that trip, but I actually earned an upgraded room. So, somehow I blew out the Success Club points. I think they had double points, like for December. And so that helped push me over the edge, to be quite honest. But I went as an Emerald coach. I, had to ask time off of my job to go on that trip. I was able to take my family. I didn't know anybody. I just remember being kind of in awe of, because in 6 months' time, I had fallen in love with Beachbody. I had fallen in love with the team network. I'd fallen in love with the trainers. I'd fallen in love with them, years ago. But it was like my dream was like I would watch the trainers on the videos, and I would always have this dream to work out with them, and what would it be like, and I would always kind of pretend that they were talking to me, and I still do that, to be quite honest, when I'm working out. But so there I was in Atlantis, actually by that time I had been a coach for about 9 months because the trip was in March, and it was almost surreal that I was, here with these people, these trainers, and by that time I had become familiar with some of the top coach names, and I was seeing them. And back then it was a much smaller Success Club trip. There was only, I think, 500 people maybe, and less than 1,000, and it was very intimate. And it was like the foretelling of something really big in my life. I didn't really know how big it was going to be, but the fact that I've said before that that was the first trip we took because our family had a long time dream of going to Atlantis, and we had never been able to afford it, and here it was. Now we were there, and it was because of this thing called Beachbody. And I think that's when it just there's something about this, something that was meant to be for us, for our life, for my family. And here I am 4.5 years later. I've been on 5 Success Club trips, one every year that I've been a coach. And, I'm still in an amazing upgraded room. And it's just, the thing about it is, I was talking to somebody in line today. We had the celebrity photo op. And I was talking to her, and she said, I'm kind of stuck. I'm just trying to figure out, what I need to do. What am I missing? And I said, I had that same moment when I was a diamond and I was trying to get to the next level, and I was wondering, well, what am I missing? I'm doing what I've been told to do, but I just don't see that that's going to get me to the next level. And what I learned on a national wake-up call that Carl Deichler said was, you got to do more. If you want more, you got to do more. So if you want to be the average coach, which, a lot of coaches, they aren't doing anything, right? Because, they're discount coaches, or maybe they've given up, right? But I said this in a post the other day. The only way network marketing, which is what Beachbody is, doesn't work is if you don't get it, you don't work it, or you give up. So if you don't get it, that means you don't really believe, you don't really get the dream. You don't really get that this can really happen. You still kind of think that this is one of those things, and maybe your husband or your friends are telling you this is a scammy deal, and you've got this stuff going on in your head, and you just really don't get it, right? You don't get that you gotta, you don't get the training. You're not plugging into the training. So you're not getting that it's not who you know today, it's who you're gonna get to know tomorrow. You don't get that you have to put yourself out there. This business is a relationship business, and there's a lot of introverts in this business. I'm telling you, so many top coaches, myself included, are huge introverts. And we're successful because we get it. We get what we need to do, and it works for us, right? It works for me to be very personal and relationship oriented in Facebook and in my groups and things like that. Whereas, you know, one-on-one, I'm a very kind of quiet and not so outgoing person. It works for me. I get what I need to do, and I get that I have to do it, right? Even though it's not second nature. I get that there are things I have to do every day. I have to post on social media. I have to, you know, meet new people on Facebook. I have to build relationships on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I have to invite people. I have to ask people to join me, because if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So that gets into the second thing, is you got to work it. So once you get it, once you get that this can really happen, and I see it happening, and that's how I know it can happen, because if it exists, if somebody else is doing it, I know it's possible, right? So the second thing is you got to work it. And that means, you know, if I'm talking to some of you on the phone and like, well, you know, you haven't posted on Facebook for several days or weeks, or you're not doing any kind of a power hour. You're not consistently every day asking people, you know, getting to know them, building relationships, and inviting them to join your challenge group and inviting them to you're not doing those things. And then you're telling me, well, you know, I'm kind of discouraged. So maybe you don't get it, and maybe you're not working it. And then that leads to the third thing, is you can't give up. So if you don't get it and you're not working it, you probably will give up, because and then you're going to be one of those people that says these things don't really work. Well, they work. I'm proof. I'm a real life person. This was not supposed to happen to me. This was never my career path. This was never my goal in life. I remember I never wanted to go into sales. I always worked in my career. I worked at the same company for almost 20 years. I was in the sales group, but I never wanted to be in sales, and it was kind of frustrating because they made so much money, right? You know, commission, they make money. But I just I don't like the idea of being not having reliable income. I want to know exactly how much money I'm going to make every week, right? I didn't like this whole, vagueness of a commissions type of a job. Well, here I am now. I'm in a 100% commission job, and I feel completely comfortable and safe in this type of compensation. I mean, I'm not going to say that, I don't want it to be complacent, because anything can be taken away, right? If you don't get it and work it and keep doing it, right? But I feel, we know we have a very reliable source of income, and it's just, I'm a real person. I'm making real money, and there's so many coaches on our team that are really coming up. Patty Williams and Gabriel Omat, who's here with me, and Stephanie Bumgardner, Katie Mitchell, and Paulette and Amy Robinson, and so many others of you. I know, I'm not saying everybody, but you're getting it, and you're working it, and you're not giving up, even when the results don't happen as fast as you want them to. So this is the deal. On this trip, I have 3 coaches, plus their spouses, which makes 6 coaches, plus my husband, that makes 7. So there's 8 Team Dare to Dream on this trip, and that's the most Team Dare to Dream members I've ever had a trip with. And I can't tell you how giddy I was. We all had dinner last night, and I'm like, I'm so excited that you guys are here. We have a table for 10. It's amazing. I love that we have a team here. And I want you guys. I want the team on these trips. And it's not just about me. I hope you want to be here too, right? And if you want to, you can be. We're going to be in Summit together in Nashville. I know there's a whole bunch of you, and we're going to try to get some things organized. I think Jennifer Horseman is organizing some things so that we can have a meetup. And then we have, next year we've got the Punta Cana trip. And if you're not on the wait list for that, get on the wait list. And the way you get off the wait list is, first you got to be on it, and then you got to make Success Club. So the worst thing that can happen is if you're on the wait list and they call your name and you haven't been making Success Club, and then you don't get to, put your registration in. So there's no reason you can't do this. You got to get it, you got to work it, and you got to stick with it. And so that's my words of inspiration for you. That's how I got to where I'm at. That is how I got here. It is not secret. It is not a magic formula. It's just that you got to get it, believe it. You got to work it every day, and you got to stick with it. So you guys, I totally love you. I appreciate you. And you've been so much a part of my journey and helping me achieve these dreams that we have. And I don't take that lightly at all. I value and respect each of you. And peace be with you. God bless. And I'll talk to you later.